Okay, so waiting or hello everyone and welcome to my channel with Love a Black Girl. I'm going to be talking with you all about breakage. When it comes to locks, I think that is top 3 scariest things people get afraid of. We get thinage and breakage. It's just like, I'm going to be sharing my tips and things you should avoid. So, getting right into it, number 1 is going to be retwisting too tight. A lot of us, I feel, are used to, well, at least I can speak for myself, when that tight feeling, like say for example you're getting braid extensions on your hair, that tight feeling was a feeling of secure. Okay, my extensions aren't going to slip off. But it's different with locks. With locks, it doesn't need to be tight to hold that twisting if you're doing a palm roll. Now if you're interlocking, not interlock down to the scope, leave yourself a little bit of room, because when it's down to the scope with interlocking, that is risking breakage right at the root and you will have thinning locks. Now when we are going out to salons to get all these styles, more than likely I have seen some crazy things coming out of salons where that just, the loctician should have known better, to be honest, on retwisting the hair too tight. Going into number 2 is going to be braiding or rope twisting our locks too tight. When we retwist our hair and we want our retwist to last a little longer, sometimes, well, I know me, sometimes for myself a lot, I either do a braid or I do rope twists. And what that does is, yes, it does preserve your retwist longer. However, when you are doing it maybe because you want the curls, so you're just like with the hair because you're like wanting it so bright, you're going like this to your hair and you are breaking your hair when you are braiding it or twisting it so tight. Yes, we want the curls, yes, we want the waves, but when we're doing it too tight, especially repeatedly, it's going to lead to breakage long term because you're still putting tension on your hair and you're pulling to get the twist or braid. Number 3. This one was a big one for me because I had to learn this one the hard way, unfortunately. And that is putting rubber bands at the ends of your locks way too tight. I messed up on this one. So once again, when we're going into the styling and we're doing a braid or a rope twist style, to secure our ends, a lot of the stylists, or if you're doing it yourself, will put the rubber bands at the ends and like fold them up, like, and when you're tightening the end of the plane, sometimes they'll do it 3, 4, 5 times. They'll wrap around it, maybe depending on the thickness of your hair, because you want that pristine, neat look. But in honesty, it's just leading to breakage. And if you want to see an example, I will gladly show you. Banding your hair can lead to breakage. See how I went automatically to it? I knew. This here, can you guys see it? Ooh, look, it's so thin that you can actually see the buildup is shutting out. So this, I have to repair this soon. Let me know in the comments if you want me to film myself doing a repair for the lock. I will gladly record that and share it with you guys. But as you can see, over time, when you do repeatedly that action, it's going to lead to damage. And that was just one of my locks. There are a few in there. That one is just really, really bad. Number 4 would have to be keeping a style in too long. get your hair styled, a lot of the times you come out the salon tight with a tight scalp, and you're rocking that tight scalp for an extended period of time. When you keep a style in for a long time, you're encouraging your hair to merge. You're encouraging the roots to become intertwined. Leaving it in a style like that over time, with beginning with such tension and keeping it with such tension, will eventually cause your locks to break. Oh God. Number 5. I'm gonna be in trouble for this one. Having smaller locks to begin with. If you have smaller locks, just normally, if you chose to have sister locks or just locks leaning more on the thinner side, automatically you are at risk. And that is because you don't have a lot of wiggle room. And because, like I said, locks are such a permanent style, because you don't have a lot of wiggle room, you are the top tier to actually probably get damage. I'm sorry. Like, for my locks, I can handle a little bit of damage, like you've seen. Like, I'm gonna pull out the same lock if I could find it now. Okay. That's not it. Going back to the same lock, right? Lord, every time I look at it, I want to cry. Okay. If my locks had started out as thin or thinner as this part here, this part of my lock would be gone already. But because my locks originally are thicker, I had that wiggle room. God, I need to fix this in soon. So if you have thinner locks, if you decided to get sister locks or locks on the thinner side, I would not do anything remotely tight on your hair, because you are at such high risk of breakage and thinning with thinner locks too. Number 6, I feel doesn't necessarily apply to just locks. I feel like this is just hair in general, and that is having dry hair. Whenever your hair is dry, any motion can cause it damage depending on the health of your hair. Now with locks, that is more so because as your locks grow and mature, they will pick up weight. They will. And all the weight will eventually be on the root. Now if the root is dry, it becomes brittle, that weight, and then all the time you're doing this, you're doing that, my fingers in our hair, it's going to lead to breaking. Remember the process to moisturize your locks properly. It is moisten, spritz with the water, some rose water, whatever. Well, don't use tap water. I'm not going to recommend you use tap water in your hair, because tap water does have a lot of other things that really don't need to be in your hair. So distilled water, rose water, get your hair a little, just a little bit, and then you put on your oil to seal in that moisture. Remember, spritz, oil. I really sat here and thought if I should add this one, because I know people are going to come at me in the comments, but I figured I'm a bad bitch, so why not? Number 7, and that is bleaching and coloring your hair. I have bleached hair. My hair is black. It looks black to you. It looks black to me, but it's bleached. I bleached my hair for like a year, and then I was over it because I saw the damage. I saw the potential for damage, and my hair simply did not look as healthy to me. So in an attempt to cover it up, naively, I just recovered it black. But, however, I am now taking the appropriate steps, keeping it moisturized, making sure it's quenched, so I don't get as much damage. But as of right now, as I'm looking into this camera, there is minor signs of breakage at some of the ends of my locks, simply because of the bleaching. or the bleaching and the rubber bands. You see bleaching and coloring process. When you are bleaching your hair, locked or loose, what it's doing is breaking down the sealant, the natural sealant on your hair fiber, getting into your hair, the core of your hair, destroying the core of your hair that has that color in it, and removing it. It's not good for your hair. It leaves your hair hollow. So unless after you're coloring it or bleaching it, you gotta be on top of keeping your hair moisturized. I personally, going back to the whole thin locks thing, if I had sister locks, I would not bleach my hair. That's just me being. So those are my 7. That chair was loud. Okay. So those are my 7 tips and suggestions to avoid thinning and breakage with your locks. If you like this video, please hit like, click the subscribe button. I will be making more videos very, very soon. Thanks for stopping by. From me to you, with love. See you guys next time. You guys ever tried to catch yourself looking at the camera? I feel like I'm close.